Hey guys, Rez here. I'm gonna give you another achievement guide on Resident Evil 2 Remake. We are gonna be going for 3 achievements in one game from Minimalist, Frugalist, and a small carbon footprint. Minimalist is clear the game without opening the item box. Frugalist is completing the game without using a recovery item. And a small carbon footprint is take 14,000 steps or fewer in one playthrough. So I'm doing the beginning of the game here, brand new playthrough, just the first story, side A, on the easy difficulty. So we aren't going to be doing anything crazy. And I'm not going to be talking through the entire guide. I'm going to be talking on some of the trickier areas. So that way you can understand things and be a little bit clearer. Some of these areas in the game don't really need to be talked about. I'm just going to talk at the beginning here. So I'm going to give you an idea of what's to come. So it'd be good to have an idea of the game, maybe at least a playthrough of the game, so you kind of know what to do. Otherwise, it can be a little odd and tricky at spots, but maybe not too much if you just follow through this, because most of this is going to tell you all the puzzles and all the solutions right off the bat, kind of ways to go and tricks I've learned in the game, like that zombie back there. You can just skip that zombie, and there's a bunch of areas you can just run by enemies if you know certain patterns or ways to kind of get around things. There's certain tricks to a lot of this. So I'm going to be going through the game and just kind of talking here and there throughout the video, because I don't feel like talking throughout the entire thing. It's a long video guide, and I don't feel like wasting 2 hours of my time to go through every little detail. Just as long as you follow what I do through and through, you shouldn't have too many issues. I obviously die here and there throughout the game. There's some spots where I had to obviously just edit it out, and then you'll see a little bit of a skip from where I was to where I am at certain points. At certain times in the game, you will die. Now, on that note, if you do die, the steps you previously taken are reset back to where you start at, so you don't have to worry about dying. It doesn't mess up any of the achievements. It doesn't mess up your steps, so it just resets back to where you previously were, wherever they loaded you at, so all those steps are reduced again. So you don't have to worry too much about that. Also, with the healing items, you don't have to worry about picking any of those up to waste your inventory space. So that's why I say doing all 3 of the achievements in one go, it's pretty good. You also will be cutting a lot of corners by not having to pick up any items like that, wasting your inventory space, considering that you cannot put anything in the item box. Because once the things are in there, they're going to be in there for a while until you use the items up, until you get that red check mark, and that is when you can discard items. There'll be several points where I'll be going kind of backtracking in a few areas I kind of messed up for keys that I kind of forgot a door to, that I need to kind of go through just to get it out of my inventory space, just to make it a little bit easier to hold other items that I want for boss fights, like ammo and all that good shit. So with that being said, I'm just going to leave it at that for now, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight certain points of this video that probably should be a little more attention to detail. So far it isn't too much right now, just certain parts that I'm just going to be running through. So in certain areas like that, for instance, if you haven't played the game and this is your first run and you're trying to go through all this in one go right out the bat, a lot of these times you will just see me shoot a zombie to stun it just to get through them, and that one didn't work out so hot right there. But usually if you can get a shot on them in the head, you can get by them pretty quick. All you gotta do is stun them by shooting them once in the head, and they kind of recoil, and you can get through them pretty good like that, especially on the assisted difficulty, which obviously is the lowest difficulty that I'm doing this on. I would recommend doing it on this difficulty. Doing it on standard could be a bit of a pain in the ass, so I wouldn't really recommend it too much unless you're pretty good at the game. Obviously, I'm no pro at this game, so like I said, with that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna talk to you guys later on some other points.
This is not how I imagined my first day.
Nothing too real important or serious here about making a decision on whether or not I want to grab the Lightning Hawk in the game, which is the Desert Eagle with the mag rounds. If you feel like you want to grab it, go ahead and open up this locker for the mag rounds, and that way you can carry them throughout the game and have a decent amount of ammo. There isn't a whole lot of ammo throughout the game. There are several spots that you have this. If you feel like you want to have the gun, it will definitely be handy. And also, that being said, with weapons, weapon parts, I would highly recommend them through this playthrough. Just follow what I'm doing, grab them all, do the safes, and, the police trunk and the shotgun accessories, excuse me, especially the shotgun one. Makes the shotgun a lot more powerful and a lot more accurate. With that being said, I would recommend grabbing them all. Even if you can grab all the ones for the Lightning Hawk as well. I know it takes up more inventory space per gun, but it seems to be pretty well worth it. Also on this spot, I would recommend setting these bookshelves up ahead of time and taking out these zombies. Go ahead and I would kill them all the way. If you have already grabbed the shotgun, or if you run around and grab the shotgun before I did this, if you're doing your little path. If not, just take the pistol and at least knock them down. And I would also keep going beyond that point. Shoot them until their head explodes or until they don't get up anymore. Because this part of the game, you're going to want them dead. When you come back into this room, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass because those zombies will get in your way with Mr. X chasing you down and you trying to move those bookshelves around. And I ended up dying there a couple times because of that crap. Because later on, I had to edit that out. So keep that in mind, that you're going to want to move, at least set those bookshelves up as best you can. That way it's just less moving around later on and take all those zombies for that part. Alright, I'm going to continue on the video. And now, like I said, I'll be highlighting some more points in a little bit here.
So Elliot was right.
Yeah, but the passage isn't open yet. Marvin, I've got a situation here. I'm surrounded by zombies. Marvin, do you copy? Marvin! Damn it.
Another spot that can be a little bit tricky is when you first come across your liquor up ahead. Um, if you end up having a flash bang grenade in your inventory at this point or any time before around it, it would be advised you would save it for the liquor encounter up ahead. That way, if you have to get hurt like I did, you can actually use that, which would be nice because I didn't end up having one or room inventory at this point. So I did end up taking damage for it, as you will see in a second after I came back out. It'd be nice to have that. I mean, there's plenty of them around here. It's just the fact that I'm carrying all this stuff and trying not to backtrack, obviously, too much for everything else because I want the lightning hawk and all that. So normally, if you wait long enough in that room, the liquor will be around this corner over here where I'm at. But since I came out right away, it was still right by the doorway, and hence I got hit. Otherwise, you're probably still going to get hit around here because of where you're at. It's just flashbang is probably the only surefire way of actually getting around that without getting damage. I mean, I've tried to even slowly walk, like, because they're supposed to be able to, hear you. And I tried that method, slowly walk around the corner, and it still gets up in your face and still knows you're there, so that doesn't seem to work as well. On that note, only other thing I want to mention in this part of the video is this little trick to save yourself some time to get out faster, and hopefully you don't get damaged by the liquor after you set that C4 explosive on that wall up there and get your next statue piece medallion. So after a while, I'll go up there and I will end up blowing that up. Normally that bookshelf tips over, right? So what you're going to want to do for that is when you go to set that C4, you're going to run back out that door you came into the library, and then you're going to run back into the room with the C4 explosive, and it'll be kind of timed just right, ironically, because of the timer on it. You're just going to basically go back in there as it blows up, and the door will catch the bookshelf and it will not tip it over. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to set that C4. So once I set that C4 and arm it, okay, finally. So I set it and armed it. I'm going to go back out the door. Come back through it, make sure you push it in, and the bookshelf will not be tipped over, so you don't have to go over and hold it to get out. So go ahead and grab that medallion and mosey on out. So I saved to grab medallions for this later part in the game. I don't know, you can grab them at the beginning if you want. I just figured it'd save me some time and some steps to grab them here, and then on the way back to set them in there, go ahead and grab the last one right by the stairs and then head on down to the underground parking area. Other than that, that should do it for this area, and I'll be catching up with you in the next area. There isn't really too much to talk about for the first little boss fight. It's pretty easy and self-explanatory. All you're going to want to do is just keep shooting him in the head until his eye appears, and then obviously keep shooting him in the eye. Now for just the regular head, I mean, I did use the shotgun on him, but I would recommend just using the pistol, because it doesn't really seem to do too much more damage for the shotgun. So just go ahead and keep using the pistol on his head, his main head, until you get the eye to appear. If you want to finish him off pretty quickly, just use the shotgun on his eye, and it should take him out pretty quick. If you do get damage here, no big deal. If you could try to get away from him as fast as you can, and your health obviously will recover, but the shotgun, like I said, won't take very many shots, and he'll go down pretty quickly. It's just a matter of getting lucky right there. I got extremely lucky. I don't know how I didn't die right there, but I did. So try not to get damaged by him, because if he does end up chasing you down, it could be the end of your little playthrough, and you'll have to go back to the next little save. Not too big of a deal, but still annoying nonetheless. So if you want to take him out fast, I recommend using the shotgun if you have it, which I would highly recommend through this playthrough. Other than that, just keep whittling down his head, make sure his eye keeps popping back up, and then shooting his eye for extra damage. You'll take him out a hell of a lot faster. So, that being said, it shouldn't be too much longer, because once you see the eye turning red, the more red it is, obviously the more damage it is. And then from then, if you get him on his knees, you get an extra couple shots on him, and then he's as good as dead. Now after this boss fight, and every boss fight therefore after they have ammo around it, I highly recommend going around and grabbing all the ammo and grenades. Obviously leaving the guns behind for more space for ammo. And I'll catch up to you in the next area.
Hey! I'm not done talking to you.
This could be one of the trickier areas of the game, depending upon if you like these dog scenes, which I don't personally. If you follow around that right side of the fence right there like I just did, the dog should miss you. If you keep sticking on the right, the dog should be able to keep up with you. Even though I am as damaged as I am, I still managed to run it. Now, that zombie, if you go in there and grab that key, which you don't really need, I would recommend taking that guy out before coming this far, because that guy will get in your way and you don't want to waste your grenades or anything for that matter at that point, unless you have a knife that you don't care about. If you keep following the path I'm doing here to the right side of most of these things, it ends up kind of evading the dogs automatically, except for that one right there, which ended up getting me. You could basically outrun them for the most part. Now, also on these difficulties, I think it works for all of them. I end up having one playthrough unless I end up dying. I don't remember now, honestly, to be exact. But I think for the most part, it should work. The dogs in those kennels, if you end up killing them beforehand, it should eliminate the dogs. Not all of them, but it will eliminate more of those dogs from coming out and attacking you at that segment right there. So if you feel like you want to take out the dogs in the kennels beforehand, go ahead and be my guest. It'll just be less dogs you take out later on. Keep that in mind. There still will be the same amount of dogs in the little actual parking garage area we end up leaving later on. So those will still be there, just the ones that are chasing around the hallways. And that should do it for this area, and I will catch up with you guys in a little bit.
Jesus Christ!
Now, this is one of the instances where I mentioned earlier where I died. The bookshelf from the zombies and Mr. X and all that fun stuff. So just bear in mind that I ended up dying and having to take out these zombies here. So you're gonna have to want to do that, like I said beforehand, and to solve that as best as you can, because it is not easy. And I also am saving the grabbing the Lightning Hawk until after the fact here, because there's not much you can really do about waiting until he chases you around to grab it, which sucks. That's why earlier I ended up going into the locker room, safety deposit box room, whatever you want to call that room, with the extra space and all the goodies in there. I would recommend doing that as soon as you get that diamond key and going into that room that's over there. You have enough time to go over there to unlock that room in the linen room, and then you grab that other portable safe to get that key to go in there and grab all that stuff. So grabbing all that stuff while he's chasing you around is not a very likely thing you want to do and waste time and steps at that rate. I know it seems kind of like a waste to run all over there and then run all the way back and do all this stuff, then run all the way back over there to get the lightning hawk, but that lightning hawk could be a nice little saver in the game as far as beating bosses goes and doing extra damage to them and making that a little bit quicker as well. That's why I did that in that order, and then ended up having to run all the way back there to grab the lightning hawk, because obviously you can't get that jewel box until you get the clover key, whatever you want to call it, and be able to go down to that interrogation room to grab the box. So it takes a while. It seems like you're wasting steps. And if you want to check your step progress at any point, I probably should mention this earlier at the beginning of the video for people who want to know right off the bat. All you gotta do is pause it and go to your records, press up, and it'll go down to the bottom, and you should see the achievement. That way you'll see your progress in real time right there that tracks it. So there's that as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab that jewel box and head on over back and grab Lightning Hawk. So I will catch up with you guys later. There isn't much more to discuss right now. Just follow through what I'm doing, and you should be fine. Like I said, I may have mentioned earlier that I do a lot of backtracking in the rooms I might have already been into, rethinking doorways to go through to use these keys. I did that several times with these keys to try and remember the doors that you need to go through to make sure that you use up the key for all the doors and then discard it as soon as you get that red check mark. So make sure you use all the doorways you can with the keys if you do end up doing all these extra steps. Obviously, a few of the keys you are going to need to progress. The diamond key isn't really a necessity in this, so bear that in mind. If you don't want to grab it, you don't have to. Just a little extra stuff to grab lightning hawk and all that extra good stuff. This little area here can be a bit of a pain in the ass. You can just follow these little zigzag patterns I'm kind of trying to do my best to avoid. Now, I'd also recommend killing this zombie here. I love bouncing at these doors in this game. That zombie back there in the ground, you might want to take him out beforehand. He can be a little bit of a pain in the ass and get in your way as well right there. Since he tends to get up once, everything goes to hell. Imagine that, right? So, this part, if you have a grenade and a flash grenade, it is a good time to have one of each, honestly, at this point. Or 2 flash grenades. That way, when you actually get to Mr. X when he comes out, you can stun him. Because you're not going to want to deal with him and all of the zombies. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to have these issues where you get overwhelmed by the zombies and end up either getting shoved into the cell by the zombies or getting by the zombies and getting punched by Mr. X into a cell. Because it can happen. It's happened to me numerous times. I've gotten punched into the cell by him, trying to get back out, getting swarmed by zombies, or him getting in the cell my way and punching me again, and that was the end of that. So if you want, you can get grabbed, throw a grenade beforehand and get grabbed, and as long as it blows up, you'll be saved. Or just stuff the grenade in your mouth. That works too. Try to throw a grenade or a flash grenade after you take out the zombies. Throw a grenade after they all blow up. You get a flashbang, and then check it a few seconds before he comes out, because as soon as he comes out through that wall, you should be able to stun him as well. Just be careful for that zombie to the right there in the floor if you haven't already shot it or taken it out. But that is what I would recommend if you have a flashbang. Use that after you take out the zombies. After you throw that in the ground, they all blow up. You have a second to throw that flashbang. Alright, I will catch up with you later. There isn't much more to this. And a walk through the gun shop, and then some more segments of Alligator, and then Ada's little segment, which isn't too bad. So, we got is the sewers and the nests and a few boss fights, and then we're good to go.
Unfortunately, no. Ben didn't come through.
Well, what exactly are you looking for?
More info on the people responsible for this mess. Road's out. Going through that gun shop looks like the only way. What a mess. Heard of the Umbrella Corporation? They're a pharmaceutical company secretly making bioweapons. They have a virus. It turns people into indestructible monsters.
That explains the horrible things I've seen.
And that's why I'm looking for Annette Birkin. She's the one at Umbrella responsible for unleashing the virus. I'm going to bring her down. This is how we get to Annette.
Based on what you've said, the sewer seems fitting.
Well said. After you.
Gee, thanks. Can't imagine a real scientist being down here.
According to HQ, this leads right to Umbrella's secret facility.
Come on. Sewers are run by the city. How could they have a facility without the authorities knowing?
Welcome to corporate America. Umbrellas controlled Raccoon City for years.
Jesus! That an earthquake?
I sure as hell hope so.
What the hell?
Stay sharp. Got it. Who knows what's down here?
Again?
It's not too late to turn back, Leon.
No chance. You're stuck with me to the end. Holy shit! Chew on that, you overgrown son of a bitch.
Leon, up here.
What the hell was...
Just get up here. Can't say I didn't warn you.
You said the virus turned people into monsters, not reptiles.
Fair point. I'm just impressed you made it in one piece.
So let me get this straight. Umbrella sells monsters like that to who? Our military? Somebody else's?
They don't sell the monsters. They sell the viruses that make them. And Annette is who makes the viruses. Scary as that alligator was, Annette is far more dangerous. You can run, Annette, but you can't hide. It's secret weapon time. Candy from a baby. decent bastard, aren't you? Bravo. Gonna burn me alive now?
You'll never get your filthy hands on the G.
I'm not the only one after it. You realize that?
And you won't die alone.
That bitch knows what she's doing.
Visitor clearance confirmed. Your ID is authorized until October 1st. Please return before this date.
Not gonna happen.
Ada? Where are you? interesting. Where'd she go? I'm coming, Ada.
Now, I did end up getting a little turnaround here. I don't know, I just thought I'd mention this because I seem like I'm a little fucking dirt right now. I ended up getting a little confused and ended up changing what I wanted to do. It's a little bit quicker, I would say, if you were to go through the work area where I was just at the work lift room where you got the inventory upgrade. Go through the door, grab that piece, and once you grab that piece, come back down through the elevator again, back to where I'm at right now, and head back left, which is my right. Once you come back down, you'll be facing that way, so it'll be your left pathway. I would recommend doing that. Unless you want to, you can go all the way around, back up the way, all the other ways you came in, and that way, because once you loop around the way I'm telling you to, you'll end up going to the other side of that T-handle that you turn to come down, which is where you go down and to grab that, I don't know what it's called, that key to grab that room that's kind of behind me, like right across from where I'm at, to go into that room, that little security room, whatever you want to call that key. I can't think what it's called. I'm sorry, I apologize, but there's just too many items in the game and the names for all of it. That key is where you get that at, and you'll see what I'm talking about, where I'm going. It's like a little shortcut, basically, and it'll save you some steps. It's not required. You don't need to. You don't. Doesn't mean at this point I'm already pretty good on footsteps, so it's not like I'm gonna be screwing myself if I did that. Only reason why I'm mentioning this is if you do go that route, it's not a horrible thing because you can at least be able to get rid of the T handle. That way it's not stuck in your inventory. Otherwise, it'll be in your inventory for the rest of the game. Because that was the last little area to turn. Now you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. When I come around this catwalk, this is normally if you were to take that long around and come down, you'll be coming down from that left catwalk area, and then probably progressing down into the muck to go across to get the last two chest pieces. This is kind of a little shortcut on the backside to skip that. So that key right there to the right I'm talking about, and those stairs up there is what I'm mentioning. I kind of skipped that, so that last little handle is up there behind that door. You get to go all the way around to open it, so that's why I'm mentioning that. Otherwise, you're stuck with this the rest of the game. Not too big of a deal when it takes one slot up, but I just throw that out there for people who want to possibly get rid of that from your inventory because it's just another waste of space as well. So I'm just going to end up taking these guys out and going back around the same way I just came from and cutting that shortcut and solving the chest puzzle piece and fighting that boss here. Now, I recommend shotgun these guys if you have plenty of ammo. They don't take too long to kill them unassisted, so a couple shots to that shotgun and they're pretty much dead. I will be joining up with you in the boss fight.
Almost there, Ada.
Alright, so here we go. Boss fight. Once we start this up, if you feel like you want to waste a grenade here, you can. I'll show you a little trick that you can, to get this done a little bit quicker, to save some time. There's also a spot where you can stand to also negate him even from hitting you. Is over there by the box to the left, not the switch box, but like this little box in the wall left of me. But if you throw this grenade at the gate, miraculously, throw a grenade at the grenade, right? He just stops punching through the ceiling and goes right to the door. And if you haven't known before, you could also just kind of glitch right through the door and him as well, and just keep running. So there's two little tricks right there, in case you didn't know that from before. Well, there you go. And also, at this boss fight, if you want to try and save as much ammo as you can, there's a couple, obviously there's numerous ways you can beat any boss in the game. Preferences to you, whatever you want to do. You can flamethrower them, shotgun, pistol them. But a good way to save ammo on this boss fight is if you have not only the one you picked up from now, if you saved one from before, you could also use your knife on them. It's a good little trick to save ammo. It does a decent amount of damage. It's not crazy high amount of damage, but if you flashbang him and you ended up knifing him, it does do a pretty good damage amount on him. So make sure you don't stand there too long, because he doesn't stay stunned forever. So make sure you try and shoot him in the eye as much as possible. And if he does end up going down again, just go up to him with your knife again and just keep knifing him until you feel like, you know, you're in danger, which you'll know when he gets back up to run. But if you want to play a little ballsy and stand there for a couple more seconds, you know, be my guess, but you might get hit. So at that point, I would run. You can see his eyes getting pretty red, so you know he's taking some pretty good damage. Now, you can either risk it at some point and start up the crane and risk possibly getting smoked by it, or because he will end up grabbing you at points too. So it's kind of a scary thought to be grabbed while, you know, hitting that crane button, because you will be going down with him. So keep that in mind and be very careful of that. So I would say by the second or third time you down him, hit that crane button, and he should be able to get back up in time anyway, and you should be able to take him out with one go with that. It takes a little bit, so once it smacks him, you can skip that, and he should be gone. So to do what I did there, hopefully that'll work for you as well. Now we'll catch up with you guys at a later segment.
The cable car will take us down to Nest. My wristband's our ticket to ride.
Nice. Where'd you get that?
Borrowed it. Anyway, we're almost there. This may be a one-way ride, so be prepared, Leon.
This tram is bound for Nest. Do not exit until the final destination. stand clear until the doors are fully open. For your safety, stand clear until the doors are fully open. For your safety, stand clear until the doors are fully open. Welcome to Nest. Enjoy your visit. Our menu is designed with your nutritional needs using our latest biological research. Please enjoy our tasty selection of healthy foods. Dr. Lee, your presence is urgently requested by Chief Cartwright in the East area.
Now, once you are in Nest, if you want to take out the plant zombies, shoot one of their cysts on them and get by them. But besides that, a good little spot here to save a lot of time and a lot of steps is to know these codes are right here ahead of time. Be able to open up that hatch and to be able to unlock the, I don't know what you want to call it, the sample room with the, you gotta solve the puzzle to the solution to, be able to get the right amount for your little greenhouse poison room thing. I don't even know. This crap right here to mix up in your vial. So I would do this. Highly recommend doing this first. So once you end up doing that, to grab your flashbang, you might need that for later. So I would recommend doing that. I'm going to go ahead and solve this puzzle, and I'm going to catch up to you in a little bit to help in this next little area. It can be kind of a tricky spot.
Manual mode engaged. Adjust amount of solution to match cartridge capacity.
So to make things a little bit easier on you for when you come back through this area is I would recommend going up with a shotgun to these zombies down on the ground and blowing their heads off. Because they will end up getting up when you come back. And when you get to turn the power on right over the corner, you don't want to be doing that. And on top of that, you will also be dealing with lickers. So be prepared for what to come out right in front of you. And if you have the lightning hawk on you, like I told you to grab, you just pop that one in the head if you're able to get it fast enough as it jumps down. Problem solved. But be careful because there is one more, and I will be coming back on the way down and taking it out. So I don't know if I'll be mentioning that it's a tricky spot, and I just kind of go through the door and see where it's at and just pop it a couple times. No real big deal on that. Just be careful of where it's at. It's usually in the back, but where you saw the 3 zombies on the floor, kind of sitting in the middle of them. And if you have that flashbang, you can go and end up chucking that at it and then taking that up pretty easy. Just flashbang and then just popping head. Then it's no big deal.
Welcome back, Dr. Lee. You have 5 new messages.
Who left the freezer open?
Cooling complete. Dispense.
That did the trick.
Warning. You have dispersed a dangerous solution without authorization. Your actions have been logged, and you may be subject to disciplinary measures.
So for this boss fight, I recommend as soon as you start, get out your shotgun, pop that cyst on his leg, his little eyeball. If you can, get around to the left one, but I would get the heck out of that area because he's gonna smash right away, and it will definitely almost end your little run right there. So be careful of that. Hopefully you have a lot of shotgun ammo. Now if you want, you can do the little trick like I told you before on him and knife him to death, or use lightning hawk on him. Either way, you can get some good amount of damage on him. If you want to save ammo, use a knife on him. It doesn't last for very long. Now I'm not sure the flamethrower does a whole lot of damage to him and his eyeballs. They might, considering they lit up pretty red right there. Doesn't seem to actually break them per se, make them pop. You're just gonna have to take a little while to actually be able to see exactly where they're at. The fire go away. I mean, they are pretty red. If you have any grenades on you, I would recommend either A, if you feel like you're gonna panic and miss the eyeballs, use them on the eyeballs when he's got a whole bunch of them out, and it might actually do a good area of effect and get a couple of them, like the one in his back if you're having a problem getting behind him. Or if you want to wait and you can actually use it on his chest and just chuck it at his chest, it also does a good amount of damage to him there as well. Just be very careful when he grabs these pillars and throws them. You will take a lot of damage from that and his charge attacks, which I would say was almost going to do the enemy right there. But as long as you keep up on him, like I just did right there with some grenades, maybe some lightning hawk and some flamethrower kind of mixed up here and there, you should take him out pretty easy. I ended up dying a couple times trying things out and didn't work so well, but if you do what I did there, just a couple of grenades, it shouldn't take too long to take him out.
Is now operational. Self-destruct sequence will begin when lockdown is complete. Attention, unauthorized removal of a level 4 virus detected. Facility lockdown initiated. Self-destruct sequence will begin when lockdown is complete. Attention, unauthorized removal of a level 4 virus detected. Self-destruct sequence will begin when lockdown is complete. Attention. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Use the central elevator to evacuate immediately to the bottom level train platform. Attention. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Level train platform. Attention. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Use the central elevator to evacuate immediately to the bottom level train platform. Attention. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Use the central elevator to evacuate immediately to the bottom level train platform. Attention. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Use the central elevator to evacuate immediately to the bottom level train platform. Attention. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Use the central elevator to evacuate immediately to the bottom level train platform. 9 minutes until detonation. Use the central elevator to evacuate immediately to the bottom level train platform. Attention. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Use the central elevator to evacuate immediately to the bottom level train platform.
And for the last boss fight, there isn't really too much you can do here. I think it's kind of time limited in a way, honestly, because even if you inflict a certain amount of damage, you're kind of waiting around for a certain, I don't know, like it's like a little time limit for it to actually initiate the next little segment to where you get the rocket launcher to finish them off. Just try your best not to get hit here. It's really hard to not get hit. It's pretty easy to get hit. Yeah, it's the way his range attacks are. His swings are pretty crazy, and I don't know how I didn't get damaged there. Besides getting damaged, you want to try to have him clear out these rocks for you as best you can, because obviously it limits your mobility. And I have 3 stunning grenades here. Use them to your advantage. I'd highly recommend, if you have stun grenades and you are struggling at this point, to use those flashbangs. If you have any Lightning Hawk ammo left, I would recommend using that first on his heart. You will be able to stop him pretty good, especially when he does that charge attack. You'll be able to see him. He kind of stands there for a while, and you know he's ready, like right there. I would recommend taking those shots on his heart with that Lightning Hawk and stay behind a rock, because it will end up stopping his attack. So use your Lightning Hawk ammo on him. If you have shotgun ammo, I would save that for after the Lightning Hawk and use it for when you're kind of close, because things end up getting a little close because the rocks end up kind of cutting off some of your section on this. But also, once that is all done, once you grab that rocket launcher, it ended up missing right there, which is crazy. I've never seen that happen. You can end up just grabbing it and firing at him point blank range. You will not die. It won't affect you none at all. So make sure you shoot him and end that right there. But also to keep in mind, those flashbangs will save you from a lot of trouble. It'll give you a couple seconds to get away, and then just blast your way out the door, and you are as good as done with your run. Now, hopefully, all 3 of your achievements end up popping at the end of your segment, because mine only had 2 end up showing up, and I was a little bit paranoid as to why. And I didn't, it's one of them things where the game just didn't pop all 3 of them. I absolutely hate that when this kind of crap happens for these kind of achievements, when you're like sitting holding your breath for, you better all pop. That second one was a hell of a delay, which was bad enough, which was, I think the delay was the other achievement popping but not actually showing up on screen. So I ended up having this moment where here you see me freaking out, and I'm waiting and I thought maybe if I go to the main menu, it might pop. This is super delayed. It didn't even pop. But I do end up going into my achievement menu in my list and going to my locked achievements, and it does end up being there, and I show you guys that it is there. So it did work. Well, guys, I hope you watched most of this video, if not all of it, to help me out, and like this, and hopefully you subscribe as well. Help me out. I'll be putting more video guides out for this game soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and I will catch you guys later.